But 1980, I think, I came in about 70. 1980, Glasnost came into power in Russia, and Gorbachev, he lifted up the Iron Curtain. And there were a lot of, the Jews could finally get out of Russia. Anyone could get out of Russia, really. But the Jews in particular, because they had a lot of weight in this country. So there was an influx in all the cities, small cities, big cities, into this country, and maybe in other countries in the world too. And Savannah was allotted a certain number of Russian Jews, and so they showed up. And at the time, there were people in Savannah who knew Russian. There was a guy, Rosenberg, and there was Livy Levine, but somehow or other they didn't connect to them, and to these newcomers. Some of these Russian people, they studied English in Russia, but the way things were in those days, Russians couldn't travel. They could only stay within Russia. So the English they were practicing, it was sort of inbred. They couldn't understand what we were saying. Somehow or other, more specifically, I had real estate in those days, and I needed people, and I knew enough Russian to communicate a hammer or a nail, or paintbrush. I mean, that was a physical object. This wasn't an abstract concept. I was able to connect to these immigrants, and they understood me, and eventually they got their English was straightened out, and they could speak English. And now they're quite, of course, now they're as good as anyone else. So that was a big thing I did. Now, what I did, Stan Ramadi was around then, and he knew that I had some knowledge of Russian, and I had a big car. So when these guys came, I remember that, in the small airports, they have a ramp, and they come down, and there I was with my Chevy Suburban, and beforehand I said, I don't know why, I just thought of it, I'll put down taxi on it in Russian, in Cyrillic. And they didn't think much about it. They said, oh, taxi, sure, we see that sign in Russia. So after, I don't know how long it took them, but it wasn't there all the time that I was carrying him around there. They said, oh, he's a taxi driver. It finally hit them that this guy is not a taxi driver. So that was the humorous thing. Now, the interesting thing is that they were good guys. I mean, they really were. But I didn't know that they would do anything. And there are guys in Russia who are really mean, nasty guys, and they'll take advantage of you. But these guys never did.